Alright lads, so M-Day is upon us. Yes, that's right, it's time for the FGO player base to storm the beaches on Mommy Day to go ahead and claim themselves the greatest mommy servant of all time. We may not have Lilim Harlot here officially on the NA side of things, but we do have the pre-release campaign with the headliner Tiamat dropping, and oh boy, is this not only an extremely popular servant, but she's also quite the good one as well. I will just be upfront and let you know that I was not fully able to show off how good this servant was because I don't have my own Oberon or my own Koyanskaya on JP, but I still think she overperformed in this video. And even if you're a big dumb idiot and you don't like to do these complicated setups, the nice thing about Tiamat is she is super straightforward. I mean, she is one of the most basic servants to use on the planet. I mean, she practically just gets in there, does big numbers, and then just gets out of there. And if you are wondering, yes, she is a Black Royal compliant buster farming servant as well, so if you're just trying to do monstrous amounts of damage, well, you've also got that going for her as well. So, as per usual, make sure you drop a like in the video, subscribe to the channel as it's free and helps me out more than you know, and I do these videos every single day. But without further ado, let's just start getting right into this video, starting off with Tiamat's hits. So, Milky's over here is rocking a double buster double arts deck with a mean 0.44% NP refund stat, but with 4 hits on those arts cards, you will be able to get some decent refund if you are getting crits on those, but also remember if you're using Koyan Light, you're going to be refunding on those buster cards as well. They also know that this is a character for me. They know that I am here for my big mommy Tiamat, and decided to slap her on with the 5-hit extra attack, which if you don't know is a composite card that gen stars NP and does big boy damage, and here at ZTL Industries we like to see at least the 5-hit standard. Now, as a weird beast type servant, she's obviously going to be rocking a lot of interesting passive skills, anywhere from bonus crit damage, a little bit of damage reduction on there, but also just free 5% NP every single turn. They just said, you know what, just screw it here, just take it. In these challenge quests, you know, you can just have this all the time, which might not sound like a lot, but remember, people like Merlin get 5% every single turn, and that can be very impactful. Now, you're not going to be using stuff like Prisma Cosmos on her to get, like, mad refund every single turn, but when we get to her Bond CE, you can do some pretty disgusting things with it, so just keep that passive 5% in the back of your head. But obviously, we're not here to just be talking about what her passive skills do. We want to know what her main meat and potatoes are doing, so let's move into the main skills over here for Nesquik, starting off with Eyes of Blue Star, which I don't know if you guys get it. Blue Star? The skill icon is blue? Oh my goodness. Bravo, FGO. You guys have done it again. But this one is going to be a very simple yet effective skill, giving her a 50% battery, reducing all enemies' critical attack chance by 100% for 1 turn, and inflicting HP recovery block on them for a turn as well. Which most players are just going to have their eyes, you know, bulging, going, awooga, 50% battery, which is really good. I mean, that does help her out in the buster meta. Obviously, a very, very strong thing to have. I also personally like to see that it's not attached to her buffs, because when you have the battery attached to offensive buffs, it can make some more niche or interesting team comps a little awkward because you don't want to waste the battery yet. You just want to kind of go off with their buffs. So that's really, really nice just for those weird types of team comps in particular. But the other 2 effects are also really strong. They effectively mean that the enemy is not going to crit you for a turn, which is super nice because Tiamat really doesn't have any survivability in and of herself, which is really strange. I mean, do you guys not remember how many just random BS abilities this woman has and how hard it was to take her down in Babylonia? Thank the Lord Almighty we had the god Gilgamesh in that last fight, otherwise we were cooked. But hey, at the very least, she has survivability for not only herself and the party, in the way that you're not going to be getting crits, so you're probably not going to get exploded by the enemies. And then the HP recovery block isn't the biggest thing because, you know, it's not going to come up in every single fight. But when this does come up, it is an absolute game changer. I mean, we've all been fighting some bosses that, like, will heal 100,000 HP or, you know, just something ridiculous like that. And then just being able to just slap them across the face and Tiamat just says, sorry, no healing for you, only death is allowed for you, my good man. It's just really nice. These are 2 very nice conveniences to have if you want to bring her into boss fights, because she's pretty decent going into there, kind of functioning as like a better Arjuna Ultra in a way, because she's also doing the really good damage but actually has team utility, unlike that bum over there. she could do really good in that. Moving over to her second skill, Eye of the Red Star. Oh my goodness, do you guys get the connection? The lore, it's going deep with this one. We gotta give Nasu another hands of applause for this one because, dude, Red Star, red skill icon, that's just beautiful. But in all seriousness, this skill is bonkers. Like, this is ridiculous. It's giving her a 30% attack buster buff for 3 turns, just for free, for doing nothing, just for existing, and then she has a 60% chance to stun the entire enemy party for a turn, while also just cursing them, which isn't the biggest deal unless you know about a certain little free-to-play CE that we're going to be getting within the year, where it starts you off with 50% gauge and gives you a power mod against cursed enemies, so it just happens to work really well with that new free-to-play CE we're going to get. It just means Tiamat effectively can have a power mod for free because they just give us a free-to-play CE, so that's really nice, that's cool. There are also certain challenge runs where you do need the damage over time to kind of just get through the stage because the enemies are so bulky, so even in those niche scenarios, can't be stopped, can't really prevent yourself from getting blown up from Mommy Cow Tiamat over here. But then again, she's also just doing damage, and again, kind of has survivability, not in the traditional way where, you have a guts, defense, stuff along those lines. She could just tell everybody, yep, sorry, nope, you're not gonna attack my people, not gonna attack my son or daughter, I guess if you're a woman playing FGO, but we know those don't exist. And so she just says, no stunning for you, buddy, or, you're just not gonna do anything, get stunned, and just makes them feel like a fool for even trying to get into the fight while Milkers over here is existing. So very, very phenomenal second skill. The third skill, though, this is where the magic happens, because Fairlife Farms over here is going to be giving the entire party a 1500 heal, 10% battery, and 20% NP damage on a 2-turn cooldown. For one, this is already really good outside of just, Koyenskaya nonsense of being able to instantaneously loot this again. It's just really nutty because you can pop this on turn 1, get extra battery, give your turn 1 farmer some extra NP damage, and then she could just have it again for turn 3 in like very, very basic setups. It's just kind of always going to be up. But then again, when you do bring in Koyen Light into this, she actually gets to be a good character in buffing Tiamat by pretty much saying anytime you want to fire this skill, just keep popping off with it. I mean, you can stack like 3 of these in a turn and just have 60% NP damage, which is a non-limit broken Black Grail. That is absolutely ludicrous, that is nutty, that is bonkers, that is broken, that's disgusting. On top of also giving the entire party 30% battery on that turn, and they're also all getting a baby Black Grail. I mean, that's just a little bit good. It's just kinda decent. And then let's just kind of finish up her kit by looking at Horizon Farms NP over here, because this is why she's also, in my opinion, just going to be a bit better if you just need a hard humdinger hitter in any of these CQs, because she removes all of her own buffs, just yeets those off of herself before she does damage, so attack debuffs, NP damage down, buster down, all that stuff, just yeet it off of her, not a problem, not a concern, not an issue for her at all. Seals all the enemy skills for 1 turn, which is super nice because she doesn't have any form of Pierce Invul or Sure Hit or anything along those lines. But what is the easiest way to get around that? Don't let them use their skills in the first place, 5-head. Just don't ever allow them to give themselves buffs, and then, you can just dust your hands off and be like, I'm just gonna obliterate these people. I'm gonna squash them with Tiamami over here, and it's not going to be a thing. But then where this character starts to get bonkers, this is something that I think everybody kind of forgets about. Her overcharge is a 30% buster buff that stacks. This is why I was so disappointed with Takasugi, because the very next servant that comes out gets the thing that I wanted him to have, stackable buff. That means every single time she fires her NP, she's going to be getting a 30% buster buff, meaning on the 3rd wave, whenever you do farming with Tiamat, she has a 120% buster buff. So I went through the liberty of, we have the normal damage chart where it's like, oh yeah, Tiamat's looking pretty good. She's like one of the hardest hitting, buster AoE servants in the game. Don't, forget about the fact that most of these other guys that are on this list can't be using Black Grail. But then on top of that, this doesn't show how high her damage gets once she starts getting stacks. And a little guy in the comment might say, well, actually ZTL, but doesn't this also take into account the fact that she's going to have her 20% buff? Yeah, you mean the 3rd skill that is always up as long as you have at least half a brain cell and know what you're doing? Yeah, it has that included because that is like the easiest condition of all time. Tiamat as a servant is just someone you bring into fights and then just lay your giant voluptuous breasts on the enemy and then just squash them into nothingness. And the kicker is she gets stronger every single time she fires the NP. So you're already going to be seeing some pretty impressive numbers from her in the background. There was one run that I did where I just used her with Oberon and like my non-maximally broken Black Grail on JP just to see how much damage she could do just kind of normally. And she was hitting around like 700k. That's an NP1 Tiamat. It's just not even being optimally used because I don't have my own Koya and Skya to like re-loop the skill like 50 times in a row. So imagine if you actually have the capabilities to use this servant to their maximum efficiency. I mean, you don't even have to imagine it. There are countless videos on YouTube of people being like, oh, here's my Tiamat Black Grail farming. Here's me using her to just absolutely eviscerate all these guys in the game. Doesn't matter. Saber, Archer, Lancer, I'm just gonna still hit you for a million bajillion damage, actually. Class advantage, I don't really know what that is. Oh my word. I'm sorry, sweetie pie, do you happen to be an assassin, a caster, a berserker, or a rider? You know, like half the classes in the game, or I guess also a foreigner, because they're also super effective against those. And she will just sit them down and obliterate them. But she just becomes an unstoppable juggernaut. And I mean, I alluded to this at the very beginning of the video, but even her bond CE is really good. Now, if you're ill-informed because you're not subscribed to the channel, you don't watch the videos when they come out every single day, first of all, shame on you. You better fix that problem before I throw a meteor at your house. But second of all, her bond CE is going to be really good if you do decide to make her your Grand Servant, because if you don't know, Grand Servants can use both their normal bond CE in combination with any other CE in the game. So for Tiamat, that's disgusting because her bond CE gives the entire party 5% NP gauge every single turn. She turns everybody into Merlin. She just gives them that passive for free. But for Tiamat's case, she's getting 10% because she already gets 5% for no reason. So she gets 10% NP at the end of every turn. Every other turn, she's also just giving herself 10% NP as well as extra damage and some healing. And then is stacking, getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until the enemy looks like paste on the ground. So is this unit worth summoning for? Absolutely. I think Tiamat is an easy contender for one of the best servants we get in this year. It's just so jam-packed full of obscenely OP units that I don't think she cracks the top 5. But that should also tell you how nuts to butts broken some of these other characters are actually. Because if Tiamat is barely not able to crack into the top 5, how bonkers are some of these other servants? But that's a future you problem. Right now, you get to gamble.
Let's go gambling!
You get to run into the gacha and throw every single little bit of Saint Quartz you have at this character, unless for whatever reason you're saving for Draco. But me, over here at ZTL Industries, we are mommy milker enjoyers, okay? We are going to be going in on Tiamami in an attempt to get ourselves smothered within the voluptuous valley of Tiamat to fill the gaping void in my soul. And if you are also going to be like me for real, going to be summoning for Tiamat, let me know how it goes in the comment section down below. Use this video as a summoning catalyst. Make sure you go out and buy a gallon of milk. Have that ready for whenever the banner drops because Lord knows you're gonna need it. So in conclusion, banger servant, banger art, banger character, banger lore, worth summoning for, get on the banner unless, again, you want to summon for Draco, which admittedly is probably also a defensible position. Draco is also quite good, but we're not talking about Draco in today's video. Right now, we're gassing up Tiamat. So let me know in the comment section down below if you're going to be summoning for Tiamat, or come back after you have summoned for her and let me know if you did get her. Drop a like in the video and subscribe to the channel because I do be putting these videos out every single day. And on occasion, we actually do a little bit of video editing. Isn't that fun? I go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here on the channel and over on the Twitch, which is linked down in the description down below, where you can also find the Discord, where if you have any further questions about FGO, you can kind of go poke and prod around there. We've also got a Gooner chat for the Nikkei players, or things like the Dokkan chat if you're, into just seeing giant muscly dudes beat the crap out of each other. That's also there. There's also a super saucy extra special with a side of cheese chat in there for my patrons, so if you do want to go ahead and become a paid patron member, you get access to that super secret chat. Becoming a patron not only gives you access to that chat, but it also gives you access to patron exclusive content. But again, don't feel pressured to go ahead and pay over there. It's just for people that want to go that extra mile. Watching the video, liking, commenting, and enjoying some of these videos is more than enough for me. So with that being said, we've already pushed ourselves to the brink of insanity doing this Tiamat video. How much more unhinged and how hard can we crash out for the Draco video? You'll just have to stay tuned for next time and find out when she drops in like, what, a week's time for now, something along those lines. So good luck with your Tiamat summons, and let's get ready, brothers, because the storm is approaching after this one. sit them down and obliterate them. They will just know that a white woman is out here speaking her truth and sit their white down and listen to what she has to say. Access to that super secret chat where you can not only talk with me directly, but you can also be in our echo chamber where we all just affirm the opinions that we all have. And okay, cut this. This is stupid.